Hello. Today I'm going to be reading from my book, 6-Year-Old Sidney, the Skateboarding Boy. I myself am a skateboarding boy, and here's my board. Are you sitting comfortably? Okay, let's begin. 6-year-old Sidney, the skateboarding boy, could always be found with his favourite toy. It was beaten and battered and scraped from the tricks that he practised outside with great jumps, shoves and kicks. At the weekend, when all of his friends went to play on the swings and the slides in the park for the day, Sidney just played on a nice quiet curb where he practised his grinds on his own, undisturbed. At the skate park in town when he went with his mum, Sidney tried out the ramps and he thought they were fun. Some were flat, some were steep, some went right up to vert. Sidney wore all his pads so he wouldn't get hurt. Other kids at the skate park rode scooters or bikes, but for Sidney the skateboard was what he most liked. He skated all day, getting sweaty and hot, learning 1 or 2 tricks, in fact learning a lot. While leaving the skate park, Sid noticed a flyer he couldn't quite see, so Mum lifted him higher. It said that right there in the skate park next week was a skateboarding contest. Sid let out a shriek. The prize was a sponsorship deal from the shop that young Sidney had gazed through the window of lots. The skate shop would give to the skater who won a new deck every month, and Sidney was stunned. The best way to get better at doing a thing is to practice and practice and practice again. Then you practice some more until every time you try doing the thing you were doing it fine. So Sidney did practice his skateboarding moves every day after school, any trick you could choose. Sidney landed them all, every spin, flip and twist, again and again, till he just couldn't miss. All this practice, however, had ruined his board. It was almost worn out and he couldn't afford to buy a new deck with his piggy bank money. The problem was bad. It was far from funny. Sid woke with a start as the contest day dawned. Shutting off the alarm clock, he stretched and he yawned, looking down at his skateboard laid out on his knees. Sidney wondered just how it would stay in one piece. The skate park was crowded with kids, mums and dads, people putting on helmets and tightening pads. A trembling Sidney signed up on the list, clutching the pen with his trembling fist. A man with a microphone called out the names of the big group of skaters, and out they all came, with their smooth, speedy wheels and their shiny new decks. And of course, there was Sidney, whose board was a wreck. Some loud music played, the sort Sid's dad liked. Then a hooter was hooted and the skaters took flight, speeding around, going higher and faster, and Sidney tried all of the tricks he had mastered. The crowd watching Sidney all cheered and applauded, but suddenly Sidney's old board just exploded. His wheels bounced away as his deck turned to dust. It had served Sidney well, but enough was enough. All seemed to be lost as Sid gazed at his feet. How could he continue? How could he compete? When suddenly, out from the spectating crowd, rolled a board straight to Sidney, and a voice called out loud, "There you go, borrow mine." Sidney picked up the board. "Thank you, mister," he called, and the whole crowd roared. Sidney took a deep breath and carried on skating. He didn't stop once. There was no time for waiting. With a smile on his face, he was having a blast, doing all of his tricks really high, really fast. As the hooter once more hooted, ending the heat, the judges all added the scores on their sheets. Then the man with the microphone whistled, then paused, then slowly read out who the grand winner was. "And the winner," he boomed, "who scored 74 was Jimmy John Jeremy, and you win the board." Everyone clapped as the boy got his prize, and so too did Sidney, with tears in his eyes. It wasn't defeat that made Sidney sad, but he now had no board, and that felt bad. "Excuse me, kid, are you done with my board? It's not all about how the contest is scored." "I know," Sid replied, handing back the man's deck. "I just want to skate, but I can't now," he said. "Well, young man," said the stranger, "my name is Mike V, and I'd like you to think about skating for me. I was watching you skate, and I liked what I saw. I can give you 3 boards every month, maybe more." Sidney's eyes grew as wide as his old skateboard wheel, and he shook Mike V's hand, and that was a deal. 6-year-old Sidney, the skateboarding boy, travelled the world with his favourite toy, doing never-been-dones for the magazine covers and skating his heart out, inspiring others. The end. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to order your own copy, I will put a link in the description. So, anyway, I'm off for a skate. See you later.